Well, hello, everybody out there in social media land. Today's date is March the 7th, 2026, and I welcome you to the Book and Banter Society. And my name is Lisa, your humble host. Now, for several months, I've been doing horror movie recaps. But since this is the Book and Banter Society, I think it's about time I incorporate some books. So on this episode, I bring you the graphic novel Blacula, Return of the King, published on January 31st, 2023. It's 128 pages long, published by Zombie Love Studios and written by Rodney Barnes, illustrated by Jason Sean Alexander. And before we get started, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. And thank you so much, as always, for your time. A lot of competition out here, so I greatly appreciate it. And guess what? I have a book of my own, and it's called The Creeping Things and Other Tales of Madness and Mayhem. And you can find it on Amazon, Lulu, Barnes and Noble, and practically all over the place. Okay, one more thing before we get started. That's everybody's favorite, the disclaimer. The views and opinions expressed on the Book and Banter Society are my opinions and my opinions alone. I am not a professional book or movie critic. I just love books, I love movies, and I bring it all to you. Some things may trigger you, some of the things I say, maybe the dialogue in some of the books and movies. Could be a number of things, but I'm just letting you know you have been warned. All right. So now the question is, are you ready? Okay. Let's go get them. All right. So now the question is, are you ready? So, question of the day. What exactly is a graphic novel? Well, when you see the term graphic, it can mean a number of things. You may be thinking graphic violence, graphic sex. No, it's neither one of those things. A graphic novel is basically just that, graphics, illustrations, hence the term graphic novel. Now, elements of violence and sex and all of that can be in a graphic novel, but graphic novel just basically means illustration. The origins of the graphic novel can date back to the late 1970s. A Contract with God by Will Eisner and Other Tenement Stories was published back in 1978, and this is considered the first graphic novel. And you may be wondering, okay, Lisa, so what's the difference between a graphic novel versus a comic book? Well, graphic novels usually come in hardcover form or softcover. Comic books usually run about 20 to 30 pages long, and graphic novels are longer. They usually can be over 100 pages long. Comic books usually contain advertisements, and for the most part, graphic novels don't. Comic books usually have like this ongoing saga, and with a graphic novel, there's usually a beginning, a middle, and an end. And also with graphic novel, you'll get a mix of speech bubbles, text, and picture panels. And graphic novels tend to have more deeper character development versus a comic book. And sometimes comic books can come out monthly. One of the most famous graphic novels of all time is Watchmen by Alan Moore and Dave Gibbons. And this came out in 1986. And when it was originally released, it was released as just a 12 series of comic books. But if you put all 12 comic books together, you kind of have like a beginning, a middle, and an ending. kind of and a more fleshed out story. So kind of like a book, a novel. So that's why it's considered a graphic novel. The story starts with Tina Thomas. Now Tina is a reporter for a blog that chronicles creeping things that happen in the Los Angeles area. And about 6 months ago, the name Blacula started being tagged all over Los Angeles. And that's a little strange because back in the 1970s, there were a series of murders in the Crenshaw district. And back then, people thought it was some type of vampire that was responsible for the crimes. And that person they labeled Blacula. But the police's version say the crimes were committed by an ordinary man, a man by the name of Mama Waldy. And Mama Waldy was killed by the cops as they tried to take him in. And after that, the case was closed. But now, here it is, present day, and people are turning up missing. So Tina wants to know, where are these people and who's responsible? Is this person Blacula? Is he real? Does he exist? Well, that's what she's determined to find out. So one night, she decides to go to Los Angeles and just start looking into abandoned homes, vacant buildings, just looking to see if she can get some type of evidence or, doing her own little investigation. And as she's investigating and looking into a vacant home, she runs into a young guy by the name of Cross. Now, Cross has his own story about Blacula and the effect that Blacula has had on his family. So he tells Tina, hey, so are you ready? Let's go kill him. And Tina's like, whoa, wait a second here. I don't even know if this Blacula, I'm just an investigator. I don't know if he really exists. So he's like, hey, I have first hand knowledge. So come on, let's go get him. So now you have Tina and Cross looking for Blacula. And guess what? Blacula is alive and well, but he's angry and he's sad at the same time. Why? Well, for one thing, someone killed his beautiful African wife and then turned him, Prince Mama Waldy, an African prince, into a vampire known as Blacula. And he's looking for the person that literally destroyed his entire life. And that person is none other than Count Dracula. You see, because in 1780, Prince Mamuwalde and his wife, they went to Count Dracula's castle. They had dinner with him, had light banter, exchanged pleasantries, all of that. And then they got down to business, which was the slave trade. And they asked Count Dracula for assistance to see about trying to end the slave trade. Count Dracula said, hell no, that's not going to happen. I love it. Matter of fact, looking at your wife, I love her too. And I think I want her. So that's when Prince Mamuwalde and his wife decided to leave. Count Dracula said, you're not going anywhere. That's when a physical fight ensued between Prince Mamuwalde, Count Dracula. The prince was winning, so Dracula cheated and summoned his guards. They held down the prince. Count Dracula bit his neck, locked him up in a coffin, threw the prince's wife in a tomb, and the rest, as they say, is history. And Count Dracula christened him with the name Blacula and told Blacula, "You will now roam the earth forever, and you will have a hunger that will last forever, and you will be tormented forever." So, as you can see, this is definitely the reason why Prince Mamawaldi, now known as Blacula, definitely wants revenge. So, how is all of this going to play out? You have Tina and Cross. They're looking for Blacula. Blacula is looking for Dracula. How is all of this going to play out? Well, guess what? I'm not going to tell you. But as you can see, this is going to be very interesting. And this is also a very different vampire novel than you're probably used to. And a quick side note, the character Blacula comes from the 1972 independent film called Blacula. That movie was directed by a young black man that wasn't even 25 years old yet, by the name of William Crane. And the star of that movie, the one that played Blacula, was a 6'5" distinguished Shakespearean actor by the name of William Marshall. And the movie is very groundbreaking because this is the first time in movie history a black man was a vampire. Not only that, the lead vampire, and most of his victims were black, and it took place in the black section of Los Angeles, California. And if you watch the movie, and if you're familiar with movies from the 1970s, you'll see actors and actresses that you've seen once before. I know when I was growing up, I won't tell you my age, but yes, I'm very quite familiar with just about everybody that is in this particular film. Now, you don't have to watch this movie in order to understand the graphic novel, but I definitely recommend this movie. It is one of my favorite movies of all time. And yes, it is cheesy as far as the horror, the special effects. But trust me, William Marshall does such a hell of a job that you'll forget all of that. And the ensemble cast is absolutely excellent. And not only that, I did a movie recap of the movie. I talked over an hour about this movie, so you'll have to check it out um, on this channel. So the question is, do I recommend Blacula Return of the King? And I will say most definitely. And I'm not getting paid to say it. I really, really enjoyed it because I don't know much about graphic novels, but I do know that two things have to happen at the same time: good graphics and good writing. And speaking of good writing, let's talk about the writer, Rodney Barnes. Rodney Barnes has tons of credits. He was born in Maryland. He attended Howard University. And in 1995, he decided to move to Los Angeles so he can do screenwriting. And I guess you could say the rest is history. For 4 years, he was the head writer and the executive producer of The Boondocks. I never knew that. And he was the producer and writer for the hit show My Wife and Kids. Oh my God. And he was the co executive producer and writer for Everybody Hates Chris. And not only that, Zombie Love Studios is his publishing company. This is a publishing company that he founded in 2022. And oh my God, Mr. Barnes is so freaking busy. You're going to have to look him up. He has his comic book series called Philadelphia. Oh my God. Monarch, Crownsville. I mean, he has tons of stuff. So go ahead and definitely check him out. His writing in this graphic novel, it flowed very smoothly. I mean, I really got into the characters and they seemed real to me, and that is because of the writing. And I remember this was several years ago. I was watching the local news and he was on there and he was like, "Yeah, I got a graphic novel coming out called Blacula." And I was like, "What?" Because for me, this is a dream come true. Just like Rodney Barnes, I'm a huge fan of the movie Blacula. So when he took the character and put it in graphic novel form and turned it into the 21st century and just kept the story going. Oh my God, this is unbelievable. And I will be eternally grateful to Mr. Barnes. So thank you very, very much. And remember when I told you a few minutes ago, you can have good writing, but the illustrations have got to be good as well. And in this case, hats off to Jason Sean Alexander. The illustrations in this novel are unbelievable. The rich colors, the details, I mean, it is spot on. And if you don't believe me, okay, let's just take a look at some of the examples and I'll show you what I'm talking about. I mean, come on, look at this. This is beautiful. I mean, doesn't it look like you could this should be in a museum, right? I mean, this is just beautiful. And throughout the novel, different shades of red are used, and I love the reds mixed with the black. I mean, look at that. Unbelievable. And even in black and white. Jason is like, "Hey, I don't need to use color all the time when I'm doing my illustrations. I'll use black and white too." And look at that. The black and white mixed with the red. Oh my God. Look at that. Amazing. And look at this as well. And look at the first picture. The first picture, when I was reading the novel, this is towards the beginning, you could just feel the eeriness. It's like, ooh, just looking at the pictures, it's like, oh, and then look at the second picture with his mouth open. It's like, oh, he's meeting his demise. But look at the teeth. I mean, look at the detail. That's what I'm talking about. Look at this and look how the colors are used. And like I said before, and look at the detail. I mean, you don't even have to read the dialogue to see what's going on. It's just beautiful. Oh, and this is one of my favorites. Look at that. I know you guys are like, "Oh, Lisa's crazy." No, but I mean, look at that detail. And well, I mean, I hate to say it's beautiful, but I mean, it is, right? I mean, and look, it looks like it could be hung up somewhere like a painting. Man, Mr. Alexander, you did one hell of a job. Well, you guys, that's all I have to say about Blacula, Return of the King. It was a very interesting read. It didn't disappoint. Loved the illustrations, and the writing was superb. So, yeah, definitely two thumbs up. So, as always, thank you so much, you guys, for taking time out listening to me. And until next time, I hope you are great and healthy, and I will see you again soon.